Things are amazing now at Ford's. Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, Restonic, and Ford's mattresses. Get a king mattress set for the price of a queen, or a queen for the price of a full, or get up to 60 months interest-free financing now at Ford's Furniture.
What if your doctors treated you like family, your nurses calmed your fears, you received personalized, compassionate care at every visit? At TJ Regional Health, we're committed to excellence in patient care for every person, every day. To us, total local care is more than a tagline. It's our promise to you. Come experience exceptional care at the TJ Regional Health network of hospitals and clinics, where people you know care for the people you love. Visit tjsampson.org to learn more.
You can depend on WCLU for local news on the air, online, on demand at WCLUradio.com.
Good morning, everybody. It is 65 degrees here at 6:07 in downtown Glasgow. We're getting you ready for another good show this morning, and we're going to start out by getting you caught up with the latest weather forecast, best weather forecast we've had all summer. Here's Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
Staying in our dry weather pattern, actually, we've carved out a little bit of a hole in what looks to be rain surrounding us over the next 5 to 7 days. We'll see how close it gets. Seeing a few clouds around this morning, and right now no rain mentioned today, as the numbers will stay, I would say, fairly warm, but near average, 90 degrees. I'm going to go mostly sunny with some high cloud. Tonight, some clouds. I got a pair. 6s, 66 degrees. Tomorrow, clouds and sunshine, 90. We'll keep it simple for Friday. Cloud, sun, near 90. And then low 90s, pretty simple right into the weekend with a mix of clouds and sunshine. And there's actually no rain mentioned into the first 2 days of July, which starts already on Monday. Can you believe it? I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel on WCLU, your home for local.
That's right. If you're watching on EPB6 or Facebook Live, you're going to need a pair of these. It's going to be sunny, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy that summer weather. Looking at our current conditions right now, the barometer is at 30.15. Winds are calm. Humidity is at 94% currently, and we have not had any precipitation over the last 24 hours and not expected to get any the next. So that's where we are in the weather forecast from the Weather Channel. Guest host today is Wes Simpson from Green Mechanical. You may have seen his appearance on the Glasgow City Council meeting this past Monday night, or you may have seen some of his Facebook posts about the speculation of a park in downtown Glasgow. We'll talk more about that today. Up next, Brennan Crane has the news right now on WCLU. It is 6:09 and it's 65 degrees. Have you considered what your retirement looks like? Here are some things about retirement that may surprise you. 64% of retirees say they are confident about having enough money to live comfortably throughout their retirement years. Yet according to the Economic Policy Institute, nearly half of families have no retirement account savings at all. In 2017, more than 67% of retirees depended on Social Security as a major source of their income. The average monthly Social Security benefit at the beginning of 2018 was $1,404. Due to health care costs associated with living longer, 26% of workers now intend to keep working until age 70 and beyond, and 10% don't intend to retire at all. The 65 and older group is expected to become larger and have more influence in the future. Have you made arrangements for health care? Are you comfortable with your investment decisions? If you are unsure about your decisions, give the Fouch Wealth Advisory Group, Sam Dickinson, or Brian Basinger a call at 270-651-2663. Investment counseling since 1854. Securities offered by JJB Hillier W. Alliance LLC. Member NYSE, SIPC, and FINRA. Investing in securities involves risks.
Riley Dental Group, a group of dedicated and highly trained dentists who are committed to you and your family's dental health. Dr. Matthew Riley, Dr. Amy Norris Cassidy, and Dr. Jim Thurman. 3 professionals who encourage and facilitate excellent dental care. With the latest in technology, Riley Dental Group offers sedation dentistry for many procedures. They are the well-established source for dental implants in this area, which has changed so many patients' lives. Of course, dental care begins with hygiene. The dental hygienists at Riley Dental Group keep your teeth clean and coach you as you take care of your teeth at home. Commit to taking better care of your dental health. Get the Riley Dental Group on your side today. Call 651-5939. That's 651-5939 and get started. Riley Dental Group, 101 State Avenue in Glasgow.
Good morning. For WCLU News, I'm Brennan Crane reporting. A woman was arrested Monday after police investigated a child abuse case in Glasgow. The Barron County Sheriff's Office says 21-year-old Brittany Benigni was charged with first-degree criminal abuse. According to Benigni's arrest citation, she first told officers she dropped the child on an end table. In another statement, she admitted to shaking and striking the 4-month-old child through the night of June 10th. According to a statement in the citation, Benigni said in an interview that she went outside to smoke a cigarette and put on headphones to, quote, drown out the cries of the infant. Benigni supposedly got upset and, quote, yanked the infant's child's legs and flipped her on a separate incident. The child was placed in Vanderbilt Hospital. Medical records indicate the child may lose eyesight and have other life-altering injuries. Benigni was placed in the Barron County Detention Center. A woman is dead after she was ejected from her vehicle Monday in a fatal collision. The Metcalfe County Sheriff's Office says deputies responded to a fatal collision Monday afternoon. According to a news release, officers responded to Kentucky 90, approximately 4.5 miles east of the Beaumont community in Metcalfe County, around 12:26 p.m. According to authorities, Kendra N. Moore, 19, was driving a 1996 Pontiac Sunfire when she entered a curve too fast. Brian K. Hell was driving a 2016 Dodge pickup. Authorities say Moore lost control of her vehicle and crossed the center divider when she hit Hell's vehicle. Upon impact, Moore was ejected from her vehicle. Police say she was not wearing a seatbelt. Moore was transported to T.J. Sampson Hospital, where she later died. She graduated from Cumberland County High School this year. Hell refused treatment at the scene. Authorities say the collision is still under investigation. On Monday, Cave City police were dispatched to IGA Crossroads in reference to an intoxicated male subject leaving the parking lot in a red Hyundai. Upon arrival, officers observed a red Hyundai exiting the parking lot, and the operator was not wearing a seatbelt. Officers conducted a traffic stop and made contact with the operator and detected alcoholic beverage coming from the driver. The driver was identified as Michael Sell of Florida. Sell was arrested and charged with failure to wear a seatbelt and operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs. First offense, Officer Judd made the arrest and was assisted by Officer Fletcher. The Warren County Sheriff's Office says officers responded to a vehicle collision Monday just before 9 p.m. According to a news release, police responded with reports of injury. According to police, a vehicle struck an electric pole and became engulfed in flames around the 4800th block of Mount Olivet Road in Warren County. Police were informed 2 subjects left the accident scene. After a brief investigation of the area, deputies located a Hispanic male and female in the area on Bill Ferguson Road. Edgardo Chicas Lopez, 19 of Bowling Green, was the driver of the car. He was arrested and lodged at the Warren County Regional Jail. The female passenger was not arrested. A Kentucky man in Filipino custody is challenging extradition to the U.S., where he's being charged with complicity to murder. The Bowling Green Daily News reports 39-year-old Antonio Marcino Wilson is under indictment on several charges connected to the February death of Majo Miropija. Warren County Commonwealth's attorney Chris Corrin said at a pretrial conference Monday that Wilson is apparently challenging extradition. Wilson fled to the Philippines during the investigation into 49-year-old Miropija's death. Filipino police arrested Wilson in March, 5 days after local authorities obtained an arrest warrant. The Bowling Green Police Department says Miropija's death was a murder for hire and that Wilson paid 46-year-old Jeffrey Smith to kill his girlfriend's father. Smith is being charged with murder. Warren Circuit Judge John Grice reset hearings for Wilson and Smith for August 5th. And Barron County Schools recently named its newest board member. Local dentist Joey Newberry will be sworn in as a board member July 8th. According to Barron County Schools, Newberry will replace Amanda Wright. Wright was recently hired to fill a position as a business education teacher within the Barron County Area Technology Center. The school system says Newberry graduated from Barron County High School in 1994 before pursuing a degree from WKU and the University of Kentucky School of Dentistry. Superintendent of Barron County Schools Bo Matthews says Newberry's appointment is exciting. Matthews says Newberry is, quote, a Barron County Trojan through and through. Newberry will represent Park City on the board. His first board meeting is July 11th. We have 65 degrees. Straight ahead, more of the news you can depend on. WCLU.
It's time to help stuff the bus with WCLU. Stop by your local Crossroads IGA, IGA Express, or IGA and purchase a $1 Stuff the Bus tear-off with 100% of the proceeds staying in Barron County. Plus, you can donate at your local Bluegrass Cell location or any German-American bank. Stuff the Bus and WCLU are creating a level playing field for all kids on the first day of school. Find out more at StuffTheBusKY.com or on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Sleep better than ever with up to 30% savings on every bedroom suite this week at Ford's Furniture, like a solid maple artisan imposed bedroom in a mink finish. Save up to 30% off or get up to 48 months no interest financing on the bedrooms of your dreams now at Ford's Furniture.
Who will be the future face of Pedigo Lessenberry? Through expert analysis, we've confirmed their potential. With intense training, we've prepared them for any occurrence. We've taken their strengths and made them stronger. Now it's time to see what they're made of. Presenting the future face of ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Hello, I'm Jared Pursley.
And I'm Daniel Bird.
And we're more than prepared to serve you here at ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Growing with a proud community since 1902.
Extreme Prosthetics.
In more news this hour, a county sheriff says an 11-year-old Girl Scout was killed when a tree fell on her as she walked along a gravel road at a southern Indiana campground. Perry County Sheriff Alan Malone says it was raining when deputies arrived at Camp Cook about 11:30 a.m. Monday, but it wasn't a serious storm. Malone says he's not certain why the about 40-foot-tall tree suddenly toppled, but that the ground was saturated from recent rainfall. Officials said Tuesday that 2 women remained hospitalized from injuries related to the tree falling, while a 10-year-old girl was treated for a hand injury. Girl Scouts of Southwest Indiana says the Ohio River camp has been closed and that, quote, the entire Girl Scout family mourns the loss of one of our girls. Kentucky's Republican governor says he's expecting campaign visits from President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence to support his re-election campaign this year. Governor Matt Bevin said Tuesday that both Trump and Pence are, quote, committed to coming to Kentucky, and each could potentially visit Kentucky multiple times in the coming months. Bevin made the comments during radio interviews on WKDZ and WMDJ. The governor is an outspoken supporter of Trump, who won Kentucky by a landslide in his 2016 election to the White House. Bevin has made joint appearances with a series of Trump administration officials in the past year. Bevin is being challenged by Democratic Attorney General Andy Beshear in this year's election in the Bluegrass State. The pastor of a Catholic church in Kentucky has resigned following accusations he took inappropriate pictures of students during the parish's field day. The Courier-Journal reports church leaders announced the resignation from Reverend Jeff Gatlin in a June 17th email to parishioners at St. Francis of Assisi in Louisville. Gatlin was accused of inappropriate picture taking during the field day May 13th. In an email to parents May 20th, Gatlin wrote he didn't believe he had done anything wrong. Further details have not been released regarding the photos. Parish leaders sent an email to parishioners May 31st stating Gatlin was getting treatment for chemical dependency and depression. Louisville Archbishop Joseph Kurtz said Child Protective Services reviewed what happened on field day. They found no criminal activity took place. The Kentucky Chamber Workforce Center has been awarded about $700,000 in grant money to identify how businesses can prevent opioid addiction in the workplace and help employees recover. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports the center's director, Beth Davison, announced the opioid response program from businesses on Monday. She says the Office of Drug Control Policy gifted $350,000 and private donors matched it. The program's goal is to work with businesses to provide free audits of human resources policies and procedures related to addiction and recovery. Davison said businesses put funds and policies toward helping employees recover from diseases such as cancer or diabetes, but aren't equipped to help workers through addiction recovery. She says the grant will also fund a study on how the opioid epidemic is affecting Kentucky's workforce. An advocacy group for Mississippi River communities says this year's prolonged flooding has created more than $2 billion in damage. Heavier than normal snow melt in March and frequent and heavy rains through the spring led to flooding that approached record levels at several towns and cities along the Mississippi and its tributaries. The Mississippi remains well above flood stage throughout much of the corridor. Mayors from river communities who spoke in a conference call Tuesday agreed that this year's flooding has been particularly damaging, both because of how high the water rose and for how long it has stuck around. Colin Wellenkamp of the Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative says the river has been above flood stage at some southern towns for more than 200 days. And the Marquee Cinemas will host 2 free showings of The Grinch and Despicable Me today, beginning at 9:30. We have 65 degrees. For WCLU News, I'm Brennan Crane.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
A toddler is recovering after an accidental shooting in Danville.
The 2-year-old boy accidentally shot himself in the foot last night at an apartment. Danville police say the boy was being cared for by his grandfather while his parents were at work. The boy was flown to Kentucky Children's Hospital with what police describe as non-life-threatening injury. Police say the gun was not locked up. They have not ruled out filing charges. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is promising to call a vote on the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund. McConnell met with a group of 9/11 recovery workers at the Capitol, including John Field.
We don't care how they do it. We just want it done. To get his commitment, and all of them in this world in the meeting heard it. We're satisfied.
Earlier this month, comedian Jon Stewart made an appeal to Congress to make the Victim Compensation Fund permanent. It is set to run out of money late next year. The pastor of a Catholic church in Louisville has resigned following accusations that he took inappropriate pictures of students during the parish's field day. Church leaders announced the resignation of the Reverend Jeff Gatlin in an email to parishioners of St. Francis of Assisi. Gatlin was accused of inappropriate picture taking during the field day in May. In an email to parents, Gatlin wrote that he didn't believe he had done anything wrong. 2 Wayne County daycare workers won't face prosecution after abuse charges against them were dropped. Diana Myers was charged with criminal abuse after an online video showed her waving a doll in front of a crying toddler. Police say Myers knew the child was afraid of the doll. Tasha Cox had been charged with failing to report the abuse. The daycare operator has strongly defended both women. I'm Paul Meyer.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
Understands that when it comes to comfort and function, not all prosthetic devices are made the same. A properly fitted prosthesis can allow you to walk naturally without daily pain and discomfort. Extreme Prosthetics works with your physician and insurance company to help you get the comfort and function you deserve. Don't let your current discomfort and lack of mobility discourage you. Call the experts at Extreme Prosthetics today for a better, more comfortable life.
What if your doctors treated you like family, your nurses calmed your fears, you received personalized, compassionate care at every visit? At TJ Regional Health, we're committed to excellence in patient care for every person, every day. To us, total local care is more than a tagline. It's our promise to you. Come experience exceptional care at the TJ Regional Health network of hospitals and clinics, where people you know care for the people you love. Visit tjsampson.org to learn more.
The only place you need to go for all of your automotive needs is Gilead.com. Log on to browse our entire inventory of nearly 400 new and pre-owned vehicles. Take a video test drive.
Free as possible, with plenty of examples and a multitude of custom options. South Central Kentucky Monuments has the ability to offer you exactly what you want or help steer you in the right direction based on your preferences. Let my friends David and Adam Jesse provide the service and craftsmanship you deserve. To learn more, visit southcentralkymonuments.com. 65 degrees, 624 here in downtown Glasgow. In area funeral announcements at this hour, Margaret Jane Cassidy, age 79, of Glasgow, passed away yesterday at T.J. Sampson Community Hospital. She was daughter of Maxwell and Myrtle Berry. She was a New York life insurance agent for 30 years and a member of Faith United Methodist Church. She enjoyed cooking, traveling, and spending time with her grandchildren. Survivors include her husband, Ernest G. Cassidy of Glasgow, one son, Craig Cassidy, and wife Amy of Glasgow, one daughter, Kathy Jo Cassidy of Louisville, 4 grandchildren, Parker, Connor, and Mia Cassidy, and Nelson Cassidy, both of Glasgow, 2 brothers, Bobby Berry and wife Donna, and Jim Berry of Franklin, 2 sisters, Polly Baker of Franklin and Maxine Pitt and husband Ronald of Colorado, 1 sister-in-law, Janice Eplin, and husband Jim of Illinois. Special friends Geneva Strom, Abner, and Nancy Stilts. Several nieces, nephews, and cousins also survive. Funeral services for Margaret Jane Cassidy will be at 11 a.m. Friday at the Hatcher and Sadler Funeral Home, with burial in the Glasgow Municipal Cemetery. Visitation will be from 4 to 8 p.m. Thursday and after 9 a.m. Friday at the funeral home until time of service. Orville Gene Key, age 78, of Glasgow, died Monday. He was a farmer and attended Peters Creek Baptist Church. Survivors included daughter Shirley Key of Glasgow, grandson Colby Lindsay of Glasgow, three sisters Elizabeth Basil of Dawson, Illinois, Gail Kinder of Lucas, and Peggy Patrick of Glasgow. Funeral services for Orville Gene Key will be at 1 p.m. Thursday at A.F. Crow & Son Funeral Home with burial in the Glasgow Municipal Cemetery. Visitation will be Thursday from 11 a.m. until time for the service. Robert Philip Ward, age 68, of Glasgow, died Monday at the Medical Center in Bowling Green. Mr. Ward was an electrician for Johnson Electric in Glasgow and attended Grider Memorial Baptist Church. Survivors include his wife, Darlene Ward, two sons, Robert Philip Ward Jr. and wife Mary Sue of Hiceville, and Kevin Wiley and wife Kimberly of Glasgow. 5 grandchildren, Cora Neal and husband Corey, Avery Ward and wife Amanda, Leo Taylor and Finn Wiley. 4 great-grandchildren, Aiden, Brinley, and Kinley Neal and Cabrin Ward. 2 brothers-in-law, Bobby Pettigo of Cave City and Deanie Pace of Smiths Grove, and his beloved dog, Baby Lou. Funeral services for Robert Philip Ward will be at noon on Friday at the A.F. Crow & Son Funeral Home with burial in the Pleasant Home Cemetery. Visitation will be on Thursday from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. and on Friday morning until time for the services. Teresa Gay Pointer, age 71, of Indianapolis, passed away Sunday at her home. She is a homemaker and wife of Bernice Pointer, formerly of Savoy. Besides her husband, she has 5 by 8 children: Bernie Pointer of Indianapolis, Tommy Pointer of Cave City, Doug Pointer of Glasgow, Kenny Pointer of Horse Cave, Timmy Smith of Coatesville, Indiana, Angie Cannon of Virginia, Shannon Evans, and Latoya Merrill, both of Indianapolis. 30 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren also survive. Funeral services for Teresa Gay Pointer will be at 2 p.m. Thursday at Butler Funeral Home in Edmonton with burial in the Buck Hill Cemetery. Visitation will be after 10 a.m. Thursday until service time at the funeral home. Danny Ray Jaggers, age 66, of Munfordville, passed away Monday afternoon at the Hardin Memorial Hospital. Danny served on the Munfordville City Council. He is survived by his wife, Anna Hester Jaggers, 1 son, Brian Jaggers, and wife, Renee of Canmer, 1 daughter, Tanya Adkins, and husband, Corey of Smiths Grove, 4 grandchildren, Lauren Adkins, Connor Jaggers, Paisley, and Raylan Adkins, 3 sisters, Gracie Puckett of Munfordville, Pam Carby of Priceville, and Judy Robertson of Munfordville. Funeral services for Danny Ray Jaggers will be at 1 p.m. Friday in the Chapel of Seago Funeral Home with burial in the Center Point Cemetery. Visitation will be tonight from 5 to 9 p.m. and Thursday from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. and after 8 a.m. on Friday at Seago Funeral Home. The family requests that memorial donations be given to the Center Point Cemetery Fund. Funeral services for Brenda M. Wilkinson, age 78, of Burkesville, will be Friday at 11 a.m. in the Memory Chapel of Norris New Funeral Home with burial in the Stalcup Cemetery in Cumberland County. The family will receive friends after 2 p.m. Thursday until the funeral hour on Friday. Funeral services for Leola Carroll, age 84, of Bee Springs, will be at 1 p.m. today at Hubsfield Holiness Church with interment in the church cemetery. Patton Funeral Home Brownsville Chapel is in charge of arrangements. Funeral services for Margaret Marie Puckett, age 92, of Munfordville, will be at 1 p.m. today in the Chapel of Seago Funeral Home with burial in the Munfordville Municipal Cemetery. Funeral services for Nora Elizabeth Jesse Funnel, age 80, of Glasgow, will be at 2 p.m. today at the Hatcher and Sadler Funeral Home with burial in the Lick Branch Cemetery. Alternate expressions of sympathy may take the form of donations toward funeral expenses. Obituary information is available 24 hours a day, free online at WCLUradio.com. No login is necessary.
Making your funeral arrangements in advance is one last wonderful gift you can give the loved ones who will be left behind. By freeing them from the burden of many details, you give them time to do the work of grieving and caring for one another.
This is Follis Crow. Let us help you with the reflection and remembrance. A.F. Crow & Son Funeral Home in Glasgow. We're here for you.
Why do you choose the pharmacy you use? Is it because of someone you know, or is it short wait times? Highland Pharmacy has considered all of these things that make your experience at the pharmacy pleasant. With a top-notch staff of pharmacists and techs you know and trust, 2 drive-through windows, and a commitment to not making you sit and wait any longer than necessary, you can see why so many choose Highland Pharmacy, and we invite you to come see us for your next prescription. Highland Pharmacy, just over from the TJ Health Pavilion, 301 Rogers Road. Call 270-629-4300.
Uh-oh, it's official. I'm retiring next week.
Well, that's a good thing as long as you've been preparing for it.
But I'm not ready. I kept saying I'll get around to it.
Hello, I'm Anthony Mite, your local Modern Woodman financial representative. Don't be like Miss I'll get around to it. Call me today at 427-6807.
Get to know your local Modern Woodman representative to plan for your financial future and learn about valuable member benefits. Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures. Securities offered through MWA Financial Services, Inc., a wholly owned subsidiary of Modern Woodman of America.
Get ready to celebrate the 4th with savings from your Houchins IGA. Stock up store-wide. WCLU will be broadcasting live Friday afternoon from 4 until 6 as you prepare to make this the best Independence Day. Join us for special savings Friday afternoon live on WCLU.
All right, everybody, it is 6:31. We're at 66 degrees on the thermometer this morning, and Ray Stajic has the weather from the Weather Channel. Ray?
Few clouds around this morning, and right now no rain mentioned today, as the numbers will stay, I would say, fairly warm, but near average, 90 degrees. I'm going to go mostly sunny with some high cloud. Tonight, some clouds. I got a pair, 6s, 66 degrees. Tomorrow, clouds and sunshine, 90. We'll keep it simple for Friday, cloud, sun, near 90, and then low 90s. Pretty simple right into the weekend with a mix of clouds and sunshine. And there's actually no rain mentioned into the first 2 days of July, which starts already on Monday. Can you believe it? I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel on WCLU, your home for local.
Thank you, Ray. Now let's take a look at our current conditions, Wes.
All right. Current conditions are the barometer is reading 30.14. Winds are calm. Humidity is 94%. And rain in the last 24 hours is 0 inches.
And not expected any in the next 24 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my guest host for today, Wes Simpson. Wes, glad to have you here this morning.
Thanks for having me, Wes.
Yep, that's how we do mic check. You know, this thing almost didn't happen.
Yeah.
It almost didn't happen, but it happened. It's funny little story, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, Wes's Unite this morning.
That's right. It's awesome. Well, a lot of folks know Wes because Wes grew up here. Wes has a family here. Wes runs a business here, and Wes is proud of Glasgow, aren't you?
Absolutely. I love it.
And recently you've come across many people's radar who don't know you because of some stuff you're doing on social media. Mm-hmm. You've done some posts that are quite hilarious, you know.
Thank you.
They're great, but they are intended for a purpose, which culminated somewhat Monday evening with your presentation at the council. Now, before we get to that part, and of course, Brendan Crane's gonna put you on the hot seat during the 7 o'clock news.
I'm ready for it.
But talk about some of the posts. First of all, the idea to sort of bring attention to something in the downtown area.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I've worked at Green Mechanical now for over 10 years and have had the, I guess, luxury of looking at that open space for that amount of time.
That's right.
Overgrown. There's a resident groundhog that's there, and you know, just wondering, man, that would be a great space this close to downtown to do something with, and so I didn't know the history behind some of that, what was there before, and there were actually plans for a park-like space there, but you know, with the city purchasing the land last year, it got me kind of excited as maybe they're going to look at that. And I know that was, I believe, a portion of the park's master plan, or it was at least tossed around. And so the city mowed and started mowing it regularly this spring. And so, you know, one day I was just staring out my office window, and I was like, man, you know, I just really think a park would be great there. I had discussed that with other people before that said, you know, that was something that was in the works. And so one day I walked down to Fine Arts Bistro, and I was like, you know what, social media, not just in our community but really on a national scale, seems to be a kind of a love-hate thing. It can be used as a powerful tool for very hateful things that make you want to just not get on there, but it also can be used for good. And so I thought, you know, I'm just going to see if I can't start a campaign here, a grassroots effort, to try to get the conversation started for local officials to say we're either in favor of doing something with that space now that we own it, or we are not in favor. And so my first post was the coffee cup sitting there, and I was like, you know what would make this funny is if I act like this is actually a park right now. What are all the things that I could do in this place?
It's a genius idea.
Yeah, so it just kind of took on a life of its own after that. My wife, I have to give her a lot of credit. She's the creative genius behind a lot of these posts.
Absolutely.
And so it just kind of grew from there. You know, I believe the first funny, the one that I would call funny was the bird watching post. You know, I had my shorty shorts on, my Patagonia
I like the yoga.
pullover.
You wore your wife's yoga pants.
I did. I'm comfortable in my masculinity, but I can tell you that there's some pictures that did not get released on that I was not comfortable with. But I can tell you that it was very interesting seeing cars go in and out of the post office and down West Main, and people just kind of stopping and pointing and looking, thinking, well, what's this guy doing in women's yoga pants?
You know how people are in a small town. Just want to see what's going on.
Yeah, and so we did the yoga one. Put my kid's rocking horse out there, set on that, and had a sucker from Dollar General. There was 2 weeks there of just really solid ideas, and like I said, my wife has a whole stack of more that I think are on the docket, taking a little break here, but hope to get back on the park train. So
just for a little context, folks, the acquisition of that property occurred at the tail end of Mayor Doty's term, and so plans for it are obviously going to come to fruition during Mayor Armstrong's term. So a lot of what you did basically brought a lot of attention to this issue, and apparently a lot of folks agree with you. A lot of folks feel the same way that you do, and so you had a pretty good crowd of supporters Monday night at City Council, and a lot of people who want to back this and say, hey, if the government will invest in our community, so will we. So I want to address that with you here in just a moment.
Awesome.
We'll take a quick little break. The phone lines are open for birthdays and anniversaries. Ralphie's Fun Center brings you the birthdays and anniversaries list here in just a moment. Give us a call at 270-651-9149, and we'll be back right after this on Good Morning Live.
See the Carfax Vehicle History Report. Calculate payments, apply for financing, get an instant cash offer for your vehicle from Kelley Blue Book, and check out our sales, parts, and service specials. All this with just a click of a mouse.
This year, Bowling Green comes to the ballpark.
Sleep better than ever with up to 30% savings on every bedroom suite this week at Ford's Furniture, like a solid maple artisan imposed bedroom in a mink finish. Save up to 30% off or get up to 48 months no interest financing on the bedrooms of your dreams now at Ford's Furniture.
Who will be the future face of Pedigo Lessenberry? Through expert analysis, we've confirmed their potential. With intense training, we've prepared them for any occurrence. We've taken their strengths and made them stronger. Now it's time to see what they're made of. Presenting the future face of ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Hello, I'm Jared Pursley.
And I'm Daniel Bird.
And we're more than prepared to serve you here at ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Growing with a proud community since 1902.
Extreme.
Drive that money saving road to Glasgow. Great deals, no games. Come home to Goodman.
When was the last time you got your Ralphie on? What's getting your Ralphie on, you ask? When you're winning prizes and lighting up the score in the arcade, you're getting your Ralphie on. When you're dancing under the lights on roller skates, you've turned on your inner Ralphies. When you bring your coworkers to bowl in the business league, your office staff has clocked in on Ralphie's time. If you suffer from symptoms such as lack of fun, feeling bored, if you get frequent urges to act like it's your birthday, or if you're just not smiling enough, you need to go to Ralphie's. That's Ralphie's Fun Center in Glasgow. A great place for any party, event, field trip, or church group. Get your Ralphie on.
Ralphie's Fun Center brings you today's birthday list. I'm going to let Mr. Wes Simpson give the shout-outs. Wes?
All right. I'm going to try to get all these correct here. We've got birthdays for Donna Hurt, who is turning 65, Stephanie McKnight, Brenda Spencer, Terry Lou Royce. Is that your mom?
That's my mama. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday.
Love you.
Jeff Lyle, Ramona Martin, Marcia Woodard, Margie Dickerson, Leah Kate Punitsky, is that right?
I think it's Panuski.
Panuski, that's right. Okay, 36 years old. Alicia Bush, Otis Whitaker, Chad Jones is turning 44. Anna Graves, Lindley Grace Best is 1 year old. That's awesome. First year on the earth. And
cake smashing time.
Yeah. And Sant Anna Martin. Those are the birthdays, and the anniversaries are Dan and Peggy Atkinson, Bob and Joanna Harvey, and Matthew and Aaron Garrett are celebrating 9 years.
All right, and our good as gold person of the day today is Marcia Woodard. And some folks sent this in via WCLUradio.com. Actually, Jackie Davis sent this in. Says, it's her birthday. She's a good mom, grandmother, and church worker. Just an overall great, wonderful person and a good friend. So, it's your day, Marcia. If you see Marcia Woodard around town, pat her on the back. Tell her she's good as gold from all her friends at WCLU and a little taste of Texas, where good friends meet for great food and home for the best steaks in town. And Marcia is now the third of 5 contestants for this week's Good as Gold giveaway. We'll be giving away a free meal to a little taste of Texas on Friday. We'll draw it out of the hat. Marcia's name's in the hat and ready to be drawn, perhaps. We will see on Friday. All right, so that gets us caught up on the shout-outs, and of course we'll be updating those shout-outs all throughout the program. But I want to bring my guest host back on now, Wes. And basically, Wes, Monday night you were put on the end of the agenda, basically because of what you had done on social media. And I think that they knew, with your level of professionalism, although that you use humor to bring attention to a more serious issue, I think they knew you would give a good presentation. So, and I want to talk to you just from a personal standpoint about that, because you said a lot of things in there that a lot of people our age agree with. You said some things such as people think, okay, you ask the community what younger people want, but then you tell us what we really want. And I think that there's some history of that. I wouldn't place blame on any one person or group, but I think we do see less and fewer people our age moving here. Mm-hmm. We need things like parks. I think the master plan that the city has researched clearly states that. And so I want to talk to you just a little bit and ask you to elaborate on a few other things as far as what you said the other night. You said as far as forming a partnership, some sort of interlocal or public-private entity, if you will, kind of like a friends of, like they do with the fireworks at the state park. Mm-hmm. So is that something you do have a lot of support for as far as from funding?
Yeah, I actually wanted to go into the city council meeting with a number to look at, to say, here's the baseline goal of where our fundraising efforts will be initially focused on, but was afraid that putting a number out there, it kind of puts the city on the spot to commit to that.
Sure.
And so just leaving it at let's just try to enter a matching scenario. But I have had so many people that include local families, individuals, other entities, be they corporations, small businesses, or nonprofits. Have expressed we want to give, we want to get behind this, and we believe that that's a model that can kind of kickstart it. It's not putting all the burden upon the city government, saying let's partner up. You can look at some of the biggest cities in America, Central Park in New York. Yeah. There's the Central Park Conservancy. You can find these models all over, and I believe it kind of shows, hey, let's work hand in hand, and I'm super confident that there's a lot of money out there that's ready to sign on the line if an agreement can be ironed out on what does that actually look like. It's not just a donation, but it's a true partnership when it comes to conceptual designs and construction and then ongoing maintenance and programming and things.
So basically what you told City Council last night is you guys help us get the ball rolling. We'll help you cross the finish line.
Yes.
And so I think the mayor is going to appoint a committee of some sort that will then go to the Parks and Recreation Committee. There's a lot of things you got to do, legal stuff and forming this entity, perhaps. A lot of stuff to do. So another question I wanted to ask you too, Wes, is being a father, being a family man, being a businessman here, and being at Green Mechanical, doing a wonderful job there. What does it mean for you to come back to Glasgow and live here and raise a family here? Like, why is that so passionate for you to say, I'm going to do something about this community where we see fewer and fewer younger people stepping up because they're afraid they won't be hurt?
Yeah, man, that's a good question, because I love my wife and kids. You know, I am a family man, and I know you are as well, and that's something that is a big part of this. Is, I think back to my formative years. What the things that are good in my life, I consider blessings, but the environment that I feel that I was raised in, the education that I received here, I truly believe to be a top-notch education and a top-notch childhood of really good families, really good education, really good opportunities, and people who spur you on to do great things.
Sure.
and to reach above and beyond. And whether that's here in your hometown or not, I think that positivity was always there. And so, I had an opportunity to come to Green Mechanical when I graduated Western, and it never really was, I didn't consider it, that I would be back in Glasgow.
But don't you think that oftentimes people our age are reluctant to speak on matters of, the public, of the community, because they're just afraid they won't be heard? I don't think it's so much that our generation doesn't care, but it's, we're not going to waste our time on a wasted effort.
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the points I made the other night, was with that environment of I won't call it negativity, but just kind of we're going to ask why don't we have young people here? Why can't we get them to stay or come home? But then we're not really going to listen. We're going to tell you what you really want. I think it does make it difficult, because I feel like our generation, we're not just sitting around. I'm
Sure.
not sitting around. I think everybody's got a millennial thing with, they don't do a whole lot. We're kind of, if we can't find an avenue here, then we'll move on. And so not being able to have that voice and feel like there's a history there of listening and collaboration between generational gaps, I think that it provides hesitancy there. And then also just the age of social media, it's harder to stick your neck out, because then if you dare go back and read
Sure.
the articles, then you're always going to have people that are saying, well, that's the dumbest idea ever, and we ought to do this, and that's fine. It's great, we can debate about those things, but I think it just provides a place where kind of nastiness comes out.
Sure.
Sometimes,
We see people jump on board and form groups to express their level of unsatisfaction about certain matters that involve public. But it's good to see people come together for a different cause. But still, it goes through the government.
Yeah.
It's one of the most unique thing in our. And I was kind of like fanboy when I was watching the council meeting on Facebook Live, because I was like, well, he's saying so many things that I've said before, like that I've thought before, and I'm glad he said them. And so I appreciate that from you. But I do have one super serious question.
Lay it on me.
How did you get Donnie Baker to do a video for Glasgow? That's what I want. For folks that don't know, Donnie Baker is this hilarious guy. He's a comedian. He does these Facebook selfie videos. He gets 15 one-liner jokes in 10 seconds, and it is hilarious. Language sometimes an issue, but how did you get this guy who is known all over the world, who's a viral sensation? How did you get this guy to do that?
Well, my original hope was Snoop Dogg. I thought I was going to be able to get Snoop Dogg, but I settled for Donnie Baker, and it worked out great, because my father-in-law's name is Don Baker, and
Okay.
and so there is an app out there called Cameo, and Cameo is kind of a go-between for people who want to get a celebrity shout-out and celebrities who have a little bit of time and don't want to ask an exorbitant price as long as you're not trying to advertise. And so Donnie Baker.
It took him all of 3, 4, or 5 minutes to maybe think of that.
Yeah, so I sent him a message as a part of that, and I was like, hey, Donnie, I think you're hilarious, and here's the deal. We're trying to do something positive in our town. I'm trying to spur on our city government and our citizens, and so I want to thank the folks in Parks and Rec who are doing a hard job, normally a thankless job, just like any local government position is. But they are trying. There's people that are trying to push forward, and I want to help them in that to get this park built. And all I would ask you is if you could just, keep it clean.
Yeah.
Don't cuss or anything.
Yes.
And so, man, it was like, it was one of those days I was like working from all over the state, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to get a park video out. I really hope Donnie Baker comes through, because you never know if they're actually going to have time to do yours or not.
Sure.
And then it was like 3 o'clock. Boom, got the email, your video from Donnie Baker's there. I had to pay like just a super minimal amount to get that, and it was so worth it.
I'll never forget that. I mean, that's so classic.
Yeah.
But I will just try to get the hashtag going, bring Snoop Dogg to Glasgow.
Yes,
Let's
Snoop
do
Dogg.
that. Let's do that. Live concert in the park. All right, let's pause now, and when we come back, we're going to go through a little history with somebody you might know.
All right.
And it'll be the archives when we come back. Right now, 66 degrees in downtown Glasgow.
If you're going to improve your home and property by investing in a pool, doesn't it make sense to get it from somebody willing to put their name on it? Jeff Adams at Adams Pools and Supplies is ready to get the job started. Plus, they're having a spring sale to get you in the mood for fun in the sun. Right now, buy a Solstice 24-foot pool with a 20-year liner warranty and 30-year wall warranty. For a limited time, pay only $24.99. Bigger sizes at equally great prices. An 18 by 33 pool, $36.99. 15 by 30, $33.99. And a 27-foot pool, just $27.99. Adams Pools has local installers with decades of experience in installing pools. If it's an Adams pool, it comes with corrosion protection on all metal components using the most reliable coating in the industry. And of course, Adams Pools has everything you'll need after installation, like Vacuum-Seal non-chlorine chemicals. 270-866-2365. That's the number to call to get the ball rolling. 270-866-2365 on Grider Road in Russell Springs. No matter where you live in southern Kentucky, let Adams Pools do the job right.
Local folks, local food, local crafts, and local music. It's every Saturday when your hometown comes together to celebrate all of its bounty. It's Bounty of the Barons Farmers Market, a Kentucky proud event on the square in downtown Glasgow, every Saturday now through the end of October. And the best part of Bounty of the Barons is that it's a local producers-only farmers market, which means that you won't find anything like it anywhere else. We are Kentucky proud, featuring local produce, fresh-cut flowers, beef, pork, lamb, chicken, cheese, honey, soaps, lotions, and a whole lot more. Enjoy socializing with hometown folks while you browse local vendors at the Bounty of the Barons, presented by Sustainable Glasgow and a Kentucky Proud event. Come out and visit us or check us out online at bountyofthebarons.com. Bounty of the Barons, every Saturday on the square in Glasgow, where we are Kentucky Proud.
It has always been in the plan of God for His people to be different. He's always wanted His people to stand out. In Isaiah 49 verse 6, He said they're to be a light to the nations. Matthew 5:14 through 16, a light on top of a hill. Yet for some reason, it's seemingly always been the case that men just want to blend in and look just like everyone else. We fear standing out. We fear being different. Why don't we fear God? 2 Corinthians 6:17, therefore go out from their midst, be separate from them, says the Lord, and touch no unclean thing. Then I'll welcome you. I'll be a father to you, and you'll be sons and daughters to me. What is it you're doing to stand out, to be different, to be counted on by God? This has been Bart Warren for the South Green Street Church of Christ.
Thank you, Bart. The archives are brought to you by Joseph A. Wade Industrial Hardware Services on Industrial Drive. I'll quiz you on this in a moment, Wes, because history is made by the hard work that stands the test of time.
All right.
Sam Terry will join us in just a moment after a word from our sponsors. 15,000 inventory items, custom brake hoses while you wait, cylinder repair. Is there anything Joseph A. Wade can't do? Well, one thing's for sure, Joseph A. Wade Incorporated serves a large community of people who believe there's no job they can't do, and that's the same attitude Joseph A. Wade has in their line of work. So for the smallest screws, Allen wrenches, or drill bits, or even a 5-stage hydraulic cylinder measuring 25 feet in length, Joseph A. Wade's motto, no problem. Joseph A. Wade Incorporated, 311 Industrial Drive, Glasgow. And we're back for the archives here on WCLU. Local historian Sam Terry joins us this morning. How are you, Sam?
Great. How are the two Wesses today?
Well, it's a great day.
It's West Squared in here.
We're West Squared in here, and we are happy to be here. So we'll start out with 1919 here in the archives today. And Wes, of course, this, I don't know if you know about this, but this is the archives. We go through 100 years of history pretty quick.
All right.
We start with a clip from each decade.
I'm excited.
So this is 1919. Sam, here's what I have. And, of course, the folks at the South Central Kentucky Cultural Center, they comprise all of this information for us. Sam sometimes does a little extra research. And we'll have some archives extras for you today as well for our viewers on Channel 6 and Facebook Live, Periscope, Twitter, and YouTube. All right, so 1919, it was this day that Mr. D.C. White lost the forefinger on his left hand by having it torn up in a sawmill. It is now barely long enough to be called a stub. And believe it or not, that makes the news in 1919, Sam. And just bad luck.
Well, I'm sure it was big news to Mr. White, but it's kind of interesting that the rest of us have that as news for this particular day.
It is interesting, but, you know, it's earlier times, the world was a bit smaller, it seemed.
Apparently so.
This day in 1929, and we have a picture of this, and if you want to go ahead and put that on the screen there, Brendan, thank you. This is the Cleveland Springs Hotel, if you're watching or viewing our show. And the Cleveland Springs Hotel was opened to the public by Thomas H. Callis and George Claypool. The hotel has 36 rooms, and the building and grounds are in excellent condition. A hotel in Cleveland, which is not a big place.
Garden spot of Edmonson County, and quite a popular place in its day. And I understand some of those buildings are there and being restored, and some folks very interested in preserving some of that heritage.
Wow, that's interesting news, Sam. So they're working to sort of bring that back a little bit, aren't they?
It would be a nice thing for the community and the whole region.
And that's a nice-looking building right there. You can see it looks like a pretty spring day there. And, yeah, your typical motel layout. Outside entrance. Pretty nice building to be put in a place like Cleveland. But, nonetheless, that is 1929. We have our next story from 1939. This is a huge story. One of the foremost real estate transactions in recent weeks was the sale of Dr. Weldon's, that's Weldon from Glasgow fame, Dr. Weldon's attractive home on the corner of Race and College Streets. This was sold to Miss Lizzie Bradford. Dr. Weldon expects to move to his beautiful Adairland development at Goodnight. Miss Bradford will occupy her new purchase when it is vacated by the Weldons. While details are not known, it is understood to have been a handsome price. Dr. Weldon was a big part of where we are today.
He certainly was, and he and his brother helped to put the public library on sure footing in our community with the donation of two of his apartment buildings down on College Street opposite the side of the Baptist Church, and they were later joined to become the library in one space. And of course, Adairland Farm out at Goodnight was a showplace in its day, and Dr. Weldon devoted many years to turning that place into a showplace that, you know, not too many farms in this area have a postcard for sale, but Adairland Farm did, and locally, you know, we're familiar with Weldon Park, which was a park named in his honor, but we also have another reminder of Dr. Weldon in Adairland Court,
That's right.
And off of
and
Adairland
I'll have
Court
Brennan
is-
put that picture on there as well of the Adairland farm, so that folks can see it. Not to interrupt you, Sam, but we forgot to do that, or I forgot to do that. But yes, Adairland Court was also named after Dr. Weldon.
It will, and off of that is Indy Circle, and Mrs. Weldon's first name was Indy. So they're both represented in that residential development right off of Glenview and North Ray Street.
Excellent. It's pretty cool stuff, and it's cool to see the pictures. Thank you for adding that to a program, Sam. We'll skip to 1949 now, where we have a news story here that 4 Glasgow men, employees of Western Kentucky Gas Company, suffered painful burns in a spectacular gas explosion and fire on Preston Street in Radio Court. That's a little Glasgow lingo for you there. Radio Court was a place in town. It was just known as Radio Court. Smith's burns were more severe than his fellow workers, but none of the men were critically injured. Glasgow Fire Department was unable to extinguish the blaze because they lacked proper equipment. The fire was finally doused by turning off gas supply for the entire Glasgow area. The break in the Preston Street main, one of the principal lines for the Radio Court section, has now been repaired. Scary stuff when the gas lines aren't functioning properly and you can't even extinguish a fire unless you shut the whole town down.
What year was that again?
1949.
1949. My grandfather worked for Western Kentucky Gas for years and years. I don't know if he was there by then, though.
I'm hoping he wasn't there on this day. Those names, I'll repeat them, Sam. Bud McCandless, Fred Jolly, Charles Smith, and better known as Bill Riddle. So that's the story from 1949.
Spectacular explosion.
Here's a cool story right here for you. One of our finest here in 1959. This is out of the Glasgow Times, where J. Ellis of Glasgow, who was the men's valedictorian and won 4 prizes at Center College's graduation exercises, accepted a summer position in the Department of Health Physics at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Simultaneously, it has been announced that Ellis has been accepted for admission to Harvard Medical School this fall. He was one of 2 Kentuckians chosen to represent the state in Rhodes Scholarship National Competition last spring. A magna cum laude graduate, Ellis won virtually every honor available for scholastic attainment during his 4 years at Center C. That's J. Ellis, this guy we're talking about. Harvard Medical School is not easy to get into, Sam.
Well, Jay was quite the academic and a brilliant mind, and of course he is George J. Ellis III.
Okay.
And was the grandson of George J. Ellis Drug Company. That the name at least lives on in the building on the east side of the square, down on the downtown square.
Would that not been the monopoly to end all monopolies, a physician and a pharmacist? But they smart bunch, the Ellises were.
Well, the interesting thing was that George J. Ellis Sr. was a druggist. He was not actually a pharmacist.
Okay.
And his
Explain
son,
that
Mitchell
to us.
Ellis.
Explain the difference.
Well, he didn't go to pharmacy school.
Okay.
He sold medications, but he didn't have a pharmacy degree.
Can't do that anymore, can you?
Not legally.
And he had 2 sons, J. Mitchell Ellis, whose photos we are so grateful to have in this community because he was a fine photographer here. He was a registered pharmacist. And then his brother was George J. Ellis Jr., who was a local attorney and city police judge.
Okay.
And his son is Jay, the subject of your tidbit there.
So, hold that thought. I'm going to ask you a question in 2 decades in the archives. This day in 1969, as Commander-in-Chief of Kentucky's National Guard, Governor Louis B. Nunn went on maneuvers with his troops at Fort Knox. And it says here that he is the first Kentucky governor to go into the field with the Kentucky GIs. That's Louis B. Nunn in 1969. So, he was from over here, and he was a well-known person, both throughout the state and was known in politics throughout the country. And then So I'm going to ask you this about 1979. Lou Ellis, is that any relationship to Jay Ellis and George J. Sr.? Because that's who we're talking about in the archives for 79.
They were cousins, and there was George J. Ellis Drugs that nearly everyone is familiar with in Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
And then cousin Luther Ellis had L.C. Ellis Drugs in the building that is now known as Fine Arts Bistro.
Okay.
He was Lou's father, and then Lou turned that building into his photography studio.
So the photography does kind of run in the family there, because the story out of 79, Lou Ellis, a Glasgow photographer and director of the Kentucky Professional Photographers Association, has again brought the photographic loan collection to this city. The exhibit has been on the square at the New Farmers Bank and will move from there to Weldon Library. The traveling loan show of the KPPA contains the top award winners in various categories for the past year, 1979. So, bringing 2 and 2 together there. Thank you, Sam. This will wrap up. No, we got a few stories. This day in 1989, we have the new state hay baling station, now open in Glasgow, in the Burley Tobacco Warehouse next to New Farmers Bank on Columbia Avenue. So you'd have to be born in 89 or in the 80s to remember that happening, because there's not a bank there anymore that I know of. But anyway, that was new. That was a new use, I guess you could say, for the Burley Tobacco Warehouse. And 1999, we have a story here where Glasgow native James P. Haynes has been elected treasurer of the Libertarian Party for the state of Kentucky. James P. Haynes. That was 1999. And we have already concluded our archive list for the year 2009, so that ends the archives for today, Sam. We appreciate you joining us on the program. I'm sorry, I've cut you off twice now, Sam. What'd you say?
Lots of territory we've covered.
We have
over the last 100 years.
I like these days. I personally like the names that we go over and remember in the archives. And even if you don't remember those people, you realize that name, they must have been somebody important, because I've heard that last name all my life, like Weldon and Ellis and Haynes, and it's just what we do here on the archive. So thank you for joining me this morning, Sam.
Always a pleasure.
Have a great day, sir. The archives are brought to you by Joseph A. Wade Industrial Hardware Services on Industrial Drive. Because, Wes?
Because you told me that you were going to quiz me on this.
Because history is made by the hard work that stands the test of time.
I'll get it next time.
We will come back, look at the weather forecast, and we've got trivia coming up next. Bobby Lee Hurt with Hurt Auto Sales joins me in the studio today. And Bobby, part of what you do is treating people right and giving them a good deal on a car. But the other part is you got to go out and find the good vehicles to sell them. So tell us what you've been finding out there in your search.
Just in, Wes, a 2016 Honda CR-V, still under factory warranty, only $19,900. An 07 Yukon SLT has the DVD, sunroof, loaded as well, only $10,900. An 08 Saturn Vue, one owner, just $3,900. And a 2012 GMC Acadia, third row seat, all-wheel drive, only $12,900.
If variety is your thing, they sure have variety at Hurt Auto Sales. And folks, you got to drive by the lot. I'm telling you, it's a low pressure, no pressure to buy situation. Friendly folks. And as always, they stick to the motto at Hurt Auto Sales, which is
no pain when you trade with Hurt.
Hurt Auto Sales, West Main Street in Glasgow. Call 270-590-1181 or visit HurtAutoSalesGlasgow.com.
Everyone's time is at a premium. Using time wisely is even a mark on a young student's grade card. Well, at Ely Drugs, we value your time. That's why we have a website that lets you order prescription refills online with a simple click. Go to ElyDrugs.com and click on the icon that says Refill Request. That'll save you tons of time in getting the refill, plus making sure you take it on time, too. And talk about a time saver. Ely's investment in a new automated filling system means even shorter wait time. Ely Drugs helps you manage your health and your time. Check us out at ElyDrugs.com.
You find yourself thinking about the future? Perhaps you are considering downsizing or purchasing your first home. Or maybe your family is growing and you need a bigger home. I'm Gay Parker, mortgage originator with Citizens First Bank. With my 40 years of experience helping homeowners in South Central Kentucky, I can find the best mortgage product for you, regardless of your stage of life. Stop in our Glasgow branch or apply online at citizensfirstbank.com. Citizens First, the best choice for the best mortgage loans.
MLS number 419873. Member FDIC, equal housing.
Prosthetics understands that when it comes to comfort and function, not all prosthetic devices are made the same. A properly fitted prosthesis can allow you to walk naturally without daily pain and discomfort. Extreme Prosthetics works with your physician and insurance company to help you get the comfort and function you deserve. Don't let your current discomfort and lack of mobility discourage you. Call the experts at Extreme Prosthetics today for a better, more comfortable life.
What? Price and participation may vary.
All right, we got to take a look at the weather forecast here, and right now it's 66 degrees. Here's Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
Staying in our dry weather pattern, actually, we've carved out a little bit of a hole in what looks to be rain surrounding us over the next 5 to 7 days. We'll see how close it gets. Seeing a few clouds around this morning, and right now no rain mentioned today, as the numbers will stay, I would say, fairly warm, but near average, 90 degrees. I'm going to go mostly sunny with some high cloud. Tonight, some clouds. I got a pair. 6s, 66 degrees. Tomorrow, clouds and sunshine, 90. We'll keep it simple for Friday. Cloud, sun, near 90. And then low 90s. Pretty simple right into the weekend with a mix of clouds and sunshine. And there's actually no rain mentioned into the first 2 days of July, which starts already on Monday. Can you believe it? I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from a Weather Channel on WCLU, your home for local.
Thank you, Ray. Again, 66 degrees in downtown Glasgow. This weather forecast brought to you by South Central Bank.
Tired of sitting still? Get going with the bank that's going places, South Central Bank. The South Central Bank Green Tree Travel Club has a journey planned to always exciting Branson, Missouri. Check your calendar. It's October 23rd through the 27th. See Branson at its best. Enjoy the Snowboat Dinner Cruise, a train ride on the Branson Scenic Railway. Experience the Murder Mystery Dinner Show, Lambert's Cafe. And of course, it wouldn't be Branson without experiencing the George Strait Dinner Show.
Write this down.
If you're a Green Tree Travel Club member, it's just $600. Non-members, $700. Better book your reservations. A trip like this in late October will fill up fast. Call 888-651-7466 to book it today. October 23rd through the 27th. Head to Branson with South Central Bank's Green Tree Travel Club. 888-651-7466. Member FDIC.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle, a combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more, because a State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just 4 walls and 4 wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Call State Farm agent Mike Bryant in Glasgow at 270-651-3608.
Hack Whitty, Marita Whitty Lyle, David Whitty, Becky Lyle, names that have been trusted in this community for quality auto repairs for 46 years. Names you can continue to trust for many years to come. At Whitty's Complete Car Care, they specialize in all your car repair needs, including brakes, tune-ups, and diagnostics. And you won't believe their amazing tire prices. If you're ever in need of towing or unlocking service, Jeff is ready and waiting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Whitty's Complete Car Care on Rogers Road in Glasgow, 46 years and counting. All right, time for Little Caesars Morning Trivia. We're going to have the question. The number to call is 270-651-9149. That's 270-651-9149. Here's today's trivia question, Wes.
All right. How big in inches is the diameter of a basketball hoop? And I would assume a standard hoop, not a little tights or anything else.
Like the real one. Who could tell me, 651-9149, in inches, how big is the diameter of a basketball hoop? 270-651-9149 is the number to call. Of course, it takes a couple seconds for that to end up on television. But we'll go to the phone lines now, and we shall see if we get a winner.
Trivia.
20.
Not 20, but good guess. Trivia.
12 inches.
Not 12.
270-651-9149. Who can tell me In inches, how big is the diameter of a basketball hoop?
Trivia.
18 inches in diameter.
And that is correct. Who am I speaking with?
Belinda Cash.
Belinda Cash?
Yes.
Congratulations, Belinda. Did you have to look that up, or are you used to dunking on people when you already know how big that is?
Baller.
I remember that from high school.
You just remembered it from high school?
Yes.
Now, what class did they teach that in?
Do what now?
What class did you learn that in high school?
I was a junior.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right, well, thank you for listening to WCLU this morning. You come on by and see us on West Main Street. We'll send you to Little Caesars for free pizza today, okay?
All right, thank you.
Have a great day.
That's Belinda Cash, our trivia winner for today. Yes, apparently you learned that in school.
I'm trying to think back to my junior year. I definitely wasn't dunking basketballs, but maybe I
could not dunk by myself. Like I could if you alley-ooped it, I could dunk it, but
Yeah.
I couldn't. My hands are too small.
Yeah, I was not the most agile leaper.
That's right. But that's our trivia winner, and of course, trivia brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza. When we come back, Brendan Crane has the news, and we'll have another interview with Mr. Wes Simpson when we come back here on Good Morning Live.
Listen to the delicious crunch of Little Caesars' new extra most bestest hot and ready thin crust pepperoni pizza for just $6. Hot and ready every day between 4 and 8 p.m. Just walk in and pick up a large, crispy thin crust pizza with the most cheese and pepperoni at the nation's best price of only $6. Little Caesars thin crust pepperoni pizza. One bite and you'll be back for more.
Pizza. Top 4 national pizza chains. Extra most bestest thin crust pepperoni pizza versus large round one topping thin crust pepperoni pizza. Everyday standard menu prices at participating locations plus tax.
Barron County Business Supply. For all your home office, business, and school supply needs. They've just received another truckload of high-quality scratch and dent furniture at incredible savings. Chairs, desks, cabinets, more savings and more selection from Barron County Business Supply. Free next-day delivery to anywhere in South Central Kentucky. There's several ways to place your order. Visit their website online at bcbsupply.com. Call toll-free at 1-866-9-BARRON. Barron County Business Supply, the area's #1 supplier of office products.
CBS News Update. Robert Mueller said he hoped last month's public statement on his Russia investigation would be his last. It will not be. He'll comply with a subpoena to appear before 2 House committees on Capitol Hill July 17th. House Intelligence Committee Chair Adam Schiff.
There are a number of questions that we have that are within the report and a number of questions we have that go beyond the report. We will expect him to answer all of our questions.
CBS's Olivia Gazis says it's a coup for Democrats.
They now have successfully managed to get Mueller himself to reflect on his findings and what they mean, and I think that that's going to be seen as a real victory for the House Democrats at this point.
Republicans are hoping to press Mueller on the origins of the investigation. CBS's Tom Hansen.
Now, President Trump responded to last night's news on Twitter with simply presidential harassment. Mr. Trump has said the Mueller report completely exonerated him.
CBS News has learned the White House will not try to block or limit Mueller's testimony. CBS News Update. I'm Deborah Ross.
The Royce Radio Family. WCLU, 1490 Glasgow. WCLU FM, 102.3 Munfordville, Glasgow. And W276DO, 103.1 Glasgow.
Experience no-hassle shopping at Ford's Furniture in Bowling Green and Glasgow. Ford's Furniture. Furniture you know. People you trust.
ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance. Yes, we have a history and roots in Southern Kentucky. Yes, we have a large staff to support our clients with the attention and efficiency they deserve. Best of all, we continue to get better at what we do. You make us better. Let us show you the type of insurance experience we think should always come standard. Every person, family, home, farm, or business we serve gets our best effort. Dedicated to what's best for you, we're ISU Pedigo Lessenberry Insurance.
Growing with a proud community since 1902, I'm Jared Persley, and I'd love the opportunity to work with you. Please give us a call.
Come on down to Bailey Gibson. The 2018s have to go.
All 2018 models are marked down. Buicks, GMCs, cars, trucks, SUVs, they've all got to go. Prices have been cut.
Cut below invoice?
Yes, get a new 2018 below invoice pricing, in addition to all available incentives. Need financing? We can help with that also. Come on down to 306 Happy Valley Road in Glasgow. Check out the big savings on all remaining 2018 Buicks and GMCs on the lot. These are the lowest prices of the year. Find the vehicle you like and let us help with the rest.
Remember, Buicks, GMC's, savings, Bailey Gibson.
Gibson, they're my deal-making, handshaking, wheel-turning, hard-working dealer.
For WCLU News, I'm Brennan Crane reporting. The Glasgow Electric Plant Board essentially reset itself Tuesday night after several months of disputed business. Tag Taylor was elected to be the board's chair, while Libby Pruitt was elected to Taylor's position as Secretary-Treasurer. Taylor replaces D.T. Froge. The board retracted the use of Robert's Rules of Order. The Parliamentary Procedure Manual was greatly debated because the board has never used it. Former board attorney Jeff Herbert provided board members with a simplistic copy of standard parliamentary procedures. According to Herbert, the board will have to, quote, massage the procedures to fit their needs. Superintendent Billy Ray discussed several items. Ray heavily detailed the EPB's biannual write-offs, which occur every June and December. The board adopted a write-off policy that allows the EPB to officially consider account balances that have not been paid for. Ray says there are currently around 300 accounts totaling $60,000 to the EPB. While the EPB has tried varying methods to track debt, some customers are able to open more accounts that accumulate more debt.
Give somebody electricity for 2 months, you're kind of like a bank. You're loaning people money, hoping they pay it back. In their case, they didn't pay it back. Even after we exhausted the $1,000 deposit, they still got close to $5,000 out of us. This is common.
According to Ray, these debts have to be accounted for, but the aggression of how the debts are collected is left to the EPB. The EPB purchases electricity from the TVA each month. The debts and refusal of some customers to pay older accounts as bills is directly reflected in the customer monthly charge. Ray says the residential bills and some small business debts influence the customer charge.
If you all instructed us to believe anything somebody says and just try to be nice to everybody, we can do that. That's what the board's here for. But expect this $60,000 loss to become a $150,000 loss. And expect me to come back and say to you, our customer charge has got to go up dramatically to pay for this. Because remember, we're a nonprofit corporation. There's nobody else to go to. There's not stockholders. There's no reserves for us to collect this from. It's got to come. It's a zero-sum game.
The board voted to allow customers 3 options to mitigate debt. Those options include paying debt in full, ending service completely, or paying debt through the EPB's iPay feature. A woman was arrested Monday after police investigated a child abuse case in Glasgow. The Barron County Sheriff's Office says 21-year-old Brittany Benigni was charged with first-degree criminal abuse. According to Benigni's arrest citation, she first told officers she dropped the child on an end table. In another statement, she admitted to shaking and striking the 4-month-old child through the night of June 10th. According to a statement in the citation, Benigni said in an interview that she went outside to smoke a cigarette and put on headphones to, quote, drown out the cries of the infant. Benigni supposedly got upset and yanked the infant child's legs and flipped her on a separate incident. The child was placed in Vanderbilt Hospital. Medical records indicate the child may lose eyesight and have other life-altering injuries. Benigni was placed in the Barron County Detention Center. A woman is dead after she was ejected from her vehicle Monday in a fatal collision. The Metcalfe County Sheriff's Office says deputies responded to a fatal collision Monday afternoon. According to a news release, officers responded to Kentucky 90, approximately 4.5 miles east of the Beaumont community in Metcalfe County, around 12:26 p.m. According to authorities, Kendra N. Moore, 19, was driving a 1996 Pontiac Sunfire when she entered a curve too fast. Brian Cahill was driving a 2016 Dodge pickup. Authorities say Moore lost control of her vehicle and crossed the center divider when she hit Hill's vehicle. Upon impact, Moore was ejected from her vehicle. Police say she was not wearing a seatbelt. Moore was transported to T.J. Sampson Hospital, where she later died. She graduated from Cumberland County High School this year. Hill refused treatment at the scene. Authorities say the collision is still under investigation. The Warren County Sheriff's Office say officers responded to a vehicle collision Monday just before 9 p.m. According to a news release, police responded with reports of injury. According to police, a vehicle struck an electric pole and became engulfed in flames around the 4800th block of Mount Olivet Road in Warren County.
Police were informed 2 subjects left the accident scene. After a brief investigation of the area, deputies located a Hispanic male and female in the area on Bill Ferguson Road. Edgardo Chicas Lopez, 19 of Bowling Green, was the driver of the car. He was arrested and lodged at the Warren County Regional Jail. The female passenger was not arrested. A Kentucky man in Filipino custody is challenging extradition to the U.S., where he's being charged with complicity to murder. The Bowling Green Daily News reports 39-year-old Antonio Marcinal Wilson is under indictment on several charges connected to the February death of Majo Miropija. Warren County Commonwealth's attorney Chris Corrin said at a pretrial conference Monday that Wilson is apparently challenging extradition. Wilson fled to the Philippines during the investigation into 49-year-old Miropija's death. Filipino police arrested Wilson in March, 5 days after local authorities obtained an arrest warrant. The Bowling Green Police Department says Miropija's death was a murder for hire and that Wilson paid 46-year-old Jeffrey Smith to kill his girlfriend's father. Smith is being charged with murder. Warren Circuit Judge John Grice reset hearings for Wilson and Smith for August 5th. And Barron County Schools recently named its newest board member. Local dentist Joey Newberry will be sworn in as a board member July 8th. According to Barron County Schools, Newberry will replace Amanda Wright. Wright was recently hired to fill a position within the Barron County Area Technology Center as a business education teacher. The school system says Newberry graduated from Barron County High School in 1994 before pursuing a degree from WKU and the University of Kentucky School of Dentistry. Superintendent of Barron County Schools Bo Matthews says Newberry's appointment is exciting. Matthews says Newberry is, quote, a Barron County Trojan through and through. Newberry will represent Park City on the board. His first board meeting is July 11th. We have 726, 66 degrees. Straight ahead, interview with Wes Simpson.
Your doctors treated you like family. Your nurses calmed your fears. You received
with Citizens First Bank. With my 40 years of experience helping homeowners in South Central Kentucky, I can find the best mortgage product for you, regardless of your stage of life. Stop in our Glasgow branch or apply online at citizensfirstbank.com. Citizens First, the best choice for the best mortgage loans.
MLS number 419873. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. All in subject to credit approval.
Right back here on WCLU News. Again, I'm Brennan Crane, joined with Wes Simpson, who's been here all morning, except this time we're going to take it to a news approach. So, Wes, of course, you've talked a little bit about what you've been doing in the community lately and sort of what you're wanting to do. And, of course, Monday night you spoke before the council, and there were a couple things in there that I think that it would be cool just to see what you think. I know obviously you can't tell everything when you have limited time before a meeting like that. But some of the things that you mentioned, of course, with the whole park idea with like the covered facility, the splash fountain, amphitheater, and, quote, other features. Do you have an idea of what some of those other features would be?
Yeah, I think a playground area of some sort. Any park, it's nice to be able, I know as a father, go and be able to do one thing, maybe go to the farmer's market, and or maybe mom is looking in the farmer's market, but dad's going to watch the kids on the playground. I believe a walking trail has been discussed around the perimeter as well, and so there's just kind of an open book depending upon the city's approach to the street that runs down the middle there, because that's a big deal. If they want to go ahead and close that traffic on that street, it turns into a 4-acre park versus 2 acres, so it just depends.
Interesting. And this so what I gathered, of course, Monday night, your proposal was that you have a private campaign or the city to match funds that is raised by that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this private campaign, is there any sort of name that you're calling that or anything?
Not yet. I wanted to gauge the city. I've got lots of people who are lined up ready to give to that, but wanted to gauge the city and see, is this something that tonight's going to say, no, we're not interested in that, and then we have to back up and punt. We've talked about a downtown park alliance or friends of that park, but I think we want to explore options too. If there's a local group that's already has that infrastructure in place, then I'm totally open to trying to work through that as well. Just so long answer is, or short answer would be no.
All right, yeah. So, and some of those other things, of course, like you said, you had a lot of people interested in this, and you mentioned even people who've moved away, which is sort of ironic, I think, because your whole initiative here is to maybe give people a reason to stay in the community, right?
Yes.
So just briefly, I know you discussed some things about people that don't live here anymore but have responded. What has that been like?
Yeah, it's been kind of some of it started out fun. I would have people that would call me and say, "Man, I love what you're doing. I think that'd be great. Here's what your next picture needs to be. You need to be playing wiffle ball in the park." So they'd be throwing ideas out. But I actually, then they got more serious as the time approached for the city council meeting. People would reach out and say, "Hey, I don't live there anymore, but I think what you're doing is great, and I would love to see my hometown move forward." And even if it's something where they're like, I'm so settled in my life in a new place, I'm not at a point where I could move back. I still love my hometown. Everybody wants to see their hometown do good,
Sure.
no matter how much angst you have and you want to get out. And so it's been really positive.
Excellent. And one last thing, I know you didn't mention any figures to the council. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I think you've stated that you didn't really know what they could do, but do you have an idea of maybe some potential costs that this might be?
Yeah, if you look into the Parks and Rec Master Plan that was prepared by Brandstater Carroll, it's a long document, but towards the end of that document, that firm actually provided some baseline budgetary cost for the splash pad, for covered pavilions. They had an amphitheater price in there, but I think it was on a smaller scale. It was more of a, low key, and really the feedback that I've gotten is wanting something that can supplement the plaza with larger seating capacities, which would lower ticket prices and bring in larger acts. But I think out of the gate with site work and really the prep and knowing that the farmers market really needs to be an initiative to get them a permanent home as the first phase of that. I believe you're looking probably in at least the $500,000 range, but with a large portion of that being private funds coming in to get that kick started. So I hate to say, but just from those figures, I think that's a good ballpark to just get ground being broken. So
Right.
yeah.
And the last thing, for those that maybe have lived here their entire life, and I don't know, some people are different. But what would you say to maybe the group that doesn't really ever engage their community, like through the farmers market, or whether it's local eateries, things like that? What is this initiative doing for that, and why should people be involved in their community like that?
Yeah, I think it's important. If you think on a 10,000 foot level from the way that economics work and how dollars are spent, where those dollars go, I think about it a lot because we're in a unique situation at Green Mechanical where most of our business comes from outside of this part of Kentucky. We work all over the southeastern United States, but I like to think about how all the profit that we make, whether it be in Columbia, South Carolina, or here or there, that we bring that money back here. And so it makes me think about, if I want to affect the local economy, then I'm going to try to engage with local businesses when I can. I'm going to try to figure out who's the mom and pop place that I can go to for lunch, that those dollars aren't going off to corporate headquarters, that's somewhere else, where, and I'm not saying those places like franchises are bad or anything. They employ people. That's great. That's a whole nother aspect.
Right.
But young people also, not just thinking about those things of how do you spend your money and what do you support, but I think thinking in a broad, long-term viewpoint of, everybody wants a return on investment tomorrow, and they want the silver bullet. What's the magic bullet that will cure all of our ills as far as economic development and everything else? But it's really, everything's interconnected, and so you have to think, what's 10, 20 years from now? What can we do, little steps that will bring about a vision that's good for the long term, but it may take a little while in the short term to realize. So, I would encourage young people, and when I say young people, I mean from high school age up to, mid-30s and 40s to engage into those discussions, because we're the ones that are going to raise our families here, and when these dreams and visions can become reality will be when that next generation is coming up, and we want to leave it better than what we got it. So
Right. All right. Well, that all of the things that you've said, I think, are great for the community and such. And then again, people were able to hear from you Monday night. Of course, the Parks and Rec Committee again is meeting July 9th, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Okay. So. And at that point, I think they said Monday that they're going to discuss some things with you all further, right?
Yes, I think the goal is to get some of that support in there. We are sitting down in the coming weeks before that meeting and developing a business plan to present with hard numbers and figures and to be realistic with phases and how this can be done, but also to talk about examples of this public-private partnership in other areas of the country, especially in the arena of parks, and how that can look and how that needs to be structured to make this thing successful for the long run. It's not just, I think I said it earlier, it's not just a donation to say, here's some money, build us a park. It's we're gonna lock arms and do this together. And so that meeting will be kind of the open book version that I was able to kind of give in summary the other night of here's how it could really look, and this is how we can move forward. And that's when the committee will have to decide, are we good with this? Can we bring this back to City Council? We have some numbers, and then that will really kickstart, if they do, the groundwork for fundraising, for going ahead and getting soil samples and environmental impacts and those types of things. So,
all right. Well, thank you, Wes. I think that covers everything I want to do today.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, 7:35, almost 7:36, 66 degrees, WCLU News.
Weather from the WCLU Weather Center. Brought to you by TJ Sampson Community Hospital.
Few clouds around this morning, and right now no rain mentioned today, as the numbers will stay, I would say, fairly warm, but near average, 90 degrees. I'm going to go mostly sunny with some high cloud. Tonight, some clouds. I got a pair, 6s, 66 degrees. Tomorrow, clouds and sunshine, 90. We'll keep it simple for Friday, cloud sun near 90, and then low 90s, pretty simple right into the weekend with a mix of clouds and sunshine. And there's actually no rain mentioned into the first 2 days of July, which starts already on Monday. Can you believe it? I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick from a Weather Channel on WCLU, your home for local.
What if your doctors treated you like family, your nurses calmed your fears, you received personalized, compassionate care at every visit? At TJ Regional Health, we're committed to excellence in patient care for every person, every day. To us, total local care is more than a tagline. It's our promise to you. Come experience exceptional care at the TJ Regional Health network of hospitals and clinics, where people you know care for the people you love. Visit tjsampson.org to learn more.
Hey, all right, and we're back here on WCLU. James, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. You've been on hold for a minute, but James Bailey joins us here. James is one of the big organizers of the park, not the park. We've been talking about parks all day, talking about the fair out at Temple Hill, and the first night of the fair was last night. How'd it go?
Oh, I thought it went great. We had a real good attendance. It was a big crowd. We had well over 1,000 people there, I would say.
1,000 people, you say?
Well, yeah. We had a good gate, a lot of people there. Of course, I go into events. We had a ribbon cutting at the Chamber of Commerce. That went well. We also had a baby show.
Oh, wow. How did that go?
Well, we had about 116 contestants.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. That is incredible.
And it really went good. We had, of course, there's a whole bunch of winners that we had, and I don't want to get into all that. That'll be in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Of the babies. Now, the Little Miss winner was Carly Brooke Tucker, and Little Mister winner was William Reed Jolly.
All right.
Those, I can announce those. But it was tremendous event. Also, going on while this was going on, we had a professional wrestling going on out in the cattle barn, and it was well attended, very exciting.
They call it the Brawl in the Barn?
Yeah. Yeah, we had the ring set up, we had the chairs and everything. It was a real good setting, and the carnival it went off real good, and it was a good night, you know.
Y'all got another good night coming up tonight. I know you got a bunch of stuff going on. Highlight some of those events for this evening, James.
Well, yeah, of course, the admission will be $10.
Okay.
Person. It's going to be FRECC, Farmers Rural Electric Co-op barbecue contest.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we talked about that last week when Mr. Pettigo came in.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. And you don't cook it there. You cook it and then bring it there. Just
You
make
bring it
folks
in.
aware of that.
That's right. Bring it in.
Entry
Yeah,
cost is what on that?
Say that again.
What's it cost to get into that competition?
Well, I don't really know.
I know there's some prize money involved, though. So
It doesn't talk about costing anything to get in. It's got to pay out. If you win, you get $50.
That's a pretty good deal.
Get second, you get $30, and third, you get $20. But I don't see that there's any cost to entering it.
Well, that's excellent. Well, go ahead and folks, go
I
ahead
may
and
be
start.
wrong, but I'm looking at the catalog and I don't see that.
That's right. That's right. That's okay. What else we got going on tonight, James?
We got something else that's new. It's Ravens Cross Escape Room.
Oh, you have an escape room at the fair?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Yes. It's an escape room is a physical adventure game in which players work together to solve a series of puzzles.
That is cool.
And riddles using clues, hints, strategy to complete the objective at hand. That's all I can tell you now. But it should be interesting.
That is cool. I think that is a big highlight because a lot of folks travel all over to see those things and try to get through the escape room. So that's going to be cool. And of course, Mother Nature has given us a pretty good forecast for the rest of this week too.
That's right. And something else that's going on. Now, these two things that we just mentioned start at 6. At 7 o'clock, we're going to have an ATV rodeo. That's always a big event.
An ATV rodeo, that's going to be awesome. So you should have another record crowd tonight, James.
Oh, yeah. And on top of that, at 7 o'clock, we're going to have a preteen and teen pageant.
Awesome.
Going on the pavilion.
If you had 116 on the Little Mr. and Miss, I bet it's going to be packed there, James. And
I'd say so. Once you know you got your carnival going on and your mission, you got rides free all night. So there's plenty to do. And they got all kind of things going on.
What time the gates open, James?
They open around 5.
5 o'clock. Okay, well, get out there to the Barron County Fair, Temple Hill Lions Club, right in the metropolis of Temple Hill. We hope everybody comes out and enjoys it. The big night tonight with the cooking contest, the preteen competition, and we've got the ATV rodeo, the escape room from Ravens Cross. It's a fun-filled event, James. I know you guys work all year long to make this thing a success. It doesn't just happen, so thank you for what you do for our community, James. We appreciate it.
Well, we enjoy it. It's a good community thing, and we thank everybody for coming out and support.
All right. Call us tomorrow and let us know how the rodeo went, okay?
All right. I'll call you in the morning.
Sounds good, James. Take care.
Okay.
That is James Bailey, one of the organizers of the Barron County Fair, and it's going on right now. Gates open at 5 tonight. Go check it out. It is going to be amazing.
$10 signature rolls every Tuesday and Wednesday at Shogun Bistro. Those famous Shogun signature rolls are just $10 on Tuesday and Wednesday. Shogun Bistro. You've chosen wisely.
Join the Bowling Green Hot Rods every Friday for Fireworks Friday, sponsored by Norton Children's Hospital. Following every Friday night game, the Hot Rods will light up the sky with the fireworks display. Visit bghotrods.com for more information. Hot Rods Baseball. Fantastic.
Good morning, friends. How about the church where you attend? How would it describe you, and how would you describe it? Cold or hot? Much of what defines a church is either cold or hot, depends on the individual. Most of the time, it is what we make it. If your congregation seems cold to you, try moving closer to the front. If it seems cold to you, try speaking to as many people as possible who are in attendance that day, and do so with a warm smile. Don't just stand back and wait to be spoken to and then go home complaining that no one was friendly to you that day. Someone once said that if the preacher seems to act as solemn as a funeral director, it's probably because the pews are filled with corpses. The joy of being blessed to worship God with fellow Christians should shine through your actions as well as your attitudes in the house of God. Be a light, not a damper. Be warm, not icy. When one is converted, the joy of their salvation shines through to the world. Brother Leroy Brownlow is reported to have said, turning the church into an ice house is not a proper conversion. Sing with joy, pray with fervor, listen with interest, and participate with thanksgiving. Remember, church is not a spectator sport, nor is it intended to be your entertainment. You will likely get out of worship what you put into it. This is Danny Wyatt for the Refuge Church of Christ.
When was the last time you got your Ralphie on? What's getting your Ralphie on, you ask? When you're winning prizes and lighting up the score in the arcade, you're getting your Ralphie on. When you're dancing under the lights on roller skates, you've turned on your inner Ralphies. When you bring your coworkers to bowl in the business league, your office staff has clocked in on Ralphie's time. If you suffer from symptoms such as lack of fun, feeling bored, if you get frequent urges to act like it's your birthday, or if you're just not smiling enough, you need to go to Ralphie's. That's Ralphie's Fun Center in Glasgow. A great place for any party, event, field trip, or church group. Get your Ralphie on.
Ralphie's Fun Center brings you the birthday list. We're happy to give some shout-outs today. Where's the birthdays? They were still over there in West's seat. All right, happy birthday today to Santa Ana Martin. We've got a new 1-year-old today. It's Lindley Grace Best. We've got Anna Graves on the list. Chad Jones, Otis Whitaker, Alicia Bush. Also, Leah Kate Panuski's 36 today. Margie Dickerson, your husband Carl called that in, said you've been lucky for 42 years. All right, Marcia Woodard has a birthday. Ramona Martin. Also, Jeff Lyle, my mom. Happy birthday, Mom. It's Terry Lou Royce's birthday today. Also, Brenda Spencer. Stephanie McKnight. Donna Hurt is 65. How about that? I believe that's worth a gong. I don't like to go a day without a gong. Let's do that. 65 for Donna Hurt. We got anniversaries for Dan and Peggy Atkinson today. Matthew and Aaron Garrett celebrate 9 years, and it's Bob and Joanna Harvey's anniversary today. We are patting on the back by a special request. Our person of the day, Marcia Woodard. Marcia Woodard has a birthday, as we said, and we had a special request sent in from her friend Jackie Davis. Here's what Jackie said. It says, it's her birthday. She's a good mom, grandmother, and church worker. Just an overall great, wonderful person and a good friend. So, pat Marcia Woodard on the back. Tell her she's good as gold from WCLU and a little taste of Texas. 7:46. It is 66 degrees here in downtown Glasgow. We'll be right back after this.
The People's Bank is a proud supporter of our local community organizations focusing on helping the citizens of Glasgow. Thank you to everyone who has donated to our Community First campaign this year. In May, the bank will be collecting snack foods such as peanut butter and crackers, dried or canned fruit, granola bars, and cereal bars. These items will support our local summer feeding programs for children and adults in our community. Feel free to drop off your donation at the People's Bank, 1300 West Main Street. The People's Bank, working for you, member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hardee's used to think bowls were useless dishware. Then we created the new loaded hash round bowl. Crispy potatoes, fluffy eggs, sausage gravy, melted cheddar, and crumbled bacon. Now part of our 2 for $4 mix and match deal. No longer are bowls just college football games you can nap to. Now they're loaded with Hardee's delicious breakfast favorites and in our 2 for $4 mix and match. Try a bowl today. They're actually really useful. Hardee's, because it tastes better.
Available for a limited time during regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Uh-oh, it's official. I'm retiring next week.
Well, that's a good thing as long as you've been preparing for it.
But I'm not ready. I kept saying I'll get around to it.
Hello, I'm Anthony Mite, your local Modern Woodman financial representative. Don't be like Miss I'll get around to it. Call me today at 427-6807.
Get to know your local Modern Woodman representative to plan for your financial future and learn about valuable member benefits. Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures. Securities offered through MWA Financial Services, Inc., a wholly owned subsidiary of Modern Woodman of America.
Do you hear a squeak? Do you hear a clunk? Is your vehicle making noises it shouldn't be making? If so, stop by Quality Auto Repairs at 300 Reynolds Road and let one of our quality professionals give you some quality advice. Quality Auto proudly installs Jasper engines, transmissions, transfer cases, and differentials with a 3-year, 100,000-mile parts and labor warranty. Large, small, or tires, Quality has it all. Call us for your automobile or trailer tire needs or stop by Quality Auto Repairs, 300 Reynolds Road for some quality service and quality advice.
From the north, south, east, west, NEWS, here's the latest news.
And that's not what happened last week.
It's not. Did everybody hear that?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, that's my thing. That's my little signature thing I do for tidbits, and I do that, just because, I don't know, just always have. But last week when I was here on Wednesday, so I didn't have the music turned on for everyone else, just for me and my guest host. And that was so hilarious because Robbie Fudge is like, he's dancing with me, and he's like, yeah, at the end, where it does that. And he's really into it, and nobody knows what's going on. And then your face.
Including the news director.
Your face was so funny because you were looking like, oh, my gosh, what did he just do?
Well, and, for those, of course, that may have been listening last Wednesday, I'm going to give you a little credit just because that board in there can be sometimes tricky.
It is.
And, when you have the wrong buttons pushed, sometimes you can control what goes on the air and what doesn't.
It is. It's great because for a few years it wasn't like this, but we got people in here all day now, people working. All the studios get used pretty much all day now.
Yeah.
And that didn't used to be like that, and so we use this board here for recording purposes as well. That's what happened.
Right.
So, but anyway, you and Aaron, y'all edited that down and made a good little video and put it on.
Well, actually, Aaron did. I just brought it to his attention. I said, hey, look.
The look on your face was so funny.
Well, it's because, I saw you dancing. I saw Robbie dancing. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, it was all, it was natural. Like, I was looking, I was shuffling. I was like, what's going on? Wes is dancing. No music's playing.
What's going on?
Our audience just hears nothing, and then they say, tidbit news. Like,
tidbit news. Like, oh, that must be what they were dancing to.
Yes.
That we couldn't hear.
That in itself was today's tidbit news story. It had to have been, and that's why I offered that.
Well, we've got some tidbit. We're going to hold off on those till tomorrow.
Excellent.
Because we just had an action-packed day here with James Bailey from the fair and Wes Simpson, and it's a great interview you did with Wes.
Thank you. It's crazy how 2 hours can pass very quickly when you're in here shuffling around trying to get everything done. As Henry always says, we're here to see what we can do, not what we're supposed to do. So,
is that what he says?
Well, it's something along those lines. Essentially, we can make some mistakes because you never know what's going to happen around here. So
that's what makes it good. It's live, local radio.
That's exactly it. That's what he says.
At its best, and sometimes not its best.
Yes.
All right. Well, we will pause right now. And 66 degrees. We'll say bye to the Facebook Live audience. Everybody, it's been a good show. We appreciate everybody watching, from Don Baker to Chad Wiley, Dr. Small, Chris Henderson, Eva Yates, Joseph Garst, Mala Lyle, Peggy Edwards, Ricky Wooten, Doug, Debbie Phelps, and Renee Horton's over there mixing up coffee at the bistro. Appreciate everybody tuning on in and the well wishes for the day. Yeah, we'll be back after this on Good Morning Live. We'll play a little song to get you to work.
Whether you